What's up, Messies? I miss you guys. Today we have the bomb. We got Mrs. Julie McKnight finally speaking up and speaking out about all the mess that has been going on with Brian McKnight, her boys. You guys, let's get into it. Let's go. And shout out to the one and the only Victor Brooks who did this amazing interview on YouTube. You guys go over there and check him out. It's the Victor Brooks Show. So Julie actually comes from a musical family. She writes and she sings. If you know anything about house music, you know Julie McKnight. Now, she has been watching all of this unfold in the media. She has been watching a lot of lies and a lot of attacks going on, being thrown at her family, but she is now drawing the line because now her grandkids are being attacked. And they also want to know, is Brian McKnight, the singer that everybody is talking about, is that my grandfather? You guys, this is just, oh my God. Let's just watch and listen.
And your children, not just your blood children, but your extended children's existence and where it goes from there. Wendy and I know Wendy has her favorite passages so far. Would you please give us some of your passages from the book that you may have highlighted? If you would like to go first, or if you'd like to go, Wendy, however you'd like to do this. The people are screaming for passages. People are screaming.
I put up a couple. Let's see. Yes. Oh, please, you start, Auntie. This is our boys. You know, I got my glasses on. The night was different indeed. The boys and I pretended that we were on a camping trip and made beds on the living room floor. They thought it was great. We watched a movie, ate our dinner, and I laid with them until they were sleeping. I watched my son. This is the first time I'm reading these out loud. I watched my sons curled up beside each other, peaceful, safe, not concerned at all about what was going on around them. For them, it was an adventure. At 5 and 2 years old, they only knew that they would be okay. They believed that because I told them so. And everything in me was determined to make sure that my word was solid. I took a bath, I poured a glass of wine, and pulled out my journals. I'd always written since I was a little girl. Even then, it soothed me. I knew that I could put everything on paper, close the book, and be done with it. My journals were my deepest friends then and even now. The shelves in my home are still covered with journals that have been with me for over 30 years. My life, scribbled and often scattered across that pages that only I'd seen. As I began to write, laying there with my sons, it was as though my hands took control of the pen with no help of my own. I didn't deny the flow that was coming through me. The tears began to scar the pages, but I couldn't stop. The reality of what had happened hit me square in my gut. We had been asked to leave our home. The sniffles turned into sobs that couldn't be controlled. Yet my hand kept moving. The writing didn't stop. I sat on the floor next to my sons for what felt like hours. The following morning, looking at the pages of my journal, the words were barely legible. Each line was smeared and streaked with tears. The pages were linen and they were filled with beautiful dried flowers. The pages looked exactly the way I felt. Something that began so beautiful was now soaked and torn. At that moment, that was me.
Woo, Messies. Can you imagine dating this man and just living the life. Then you have back then the news media always coming at you about how you have to lose weight right after a child. But not only did she talk about that, but all of the cheating that he did and all of these women who was popping up at her door, and then to see this woman sitting on her couch relaxing when she came. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let's listen to more messages because I don't know how she did it. We're going to have to do a book reading on this.
Will evoke a different emotion, I'm sure.
Right. All right.
I stood watching this woman and her children in my den. Watching the television, I felt bad for taking. She was sitting on the couch that I had picked out and eating out of dishes I'd bought. The pain in my right eye had now moved and was covering the entire right side of my head. But I couldn't take my eyes off of her. The thoughts that were running through my head, they frightened me. The things that I wanted to do to her, horrible images that in that moment seemed validated. To me, she was an intruder, and I had every right to treat her as such. I glanced over the arm of the couch and saw one of her twins sleeping, the other she was holding and feeding. Still, she never turned around. I was treading a fine line of sanity and insanity at that moment. Then seeing her children, that was the one thing that brought me back to the true reality of this situation. She had been invited into my home by my husband. She didn't show up on my doorstep or send hateful emails like the others. She was asked to be there with her children, and I was asked to leave with mine. At that moment, something shifted in me. Looking at her with her children connected to something inside of me. We were mothers. We were mothers whose lives had changed because of one man's decision. I was inches away from making a decision that would have taken me away from my blood. She wasn't worth it. He definitely wasn't. I wasn't intending to do anything to take me out of this house nor land me in prison. So I turned, I walked out of the front door. Without her ever knowing that I was there, I slammed it. At that point, I was done.
Lord have mercy.
I'm going to tell you right now, don't play with me. I was raised on a farm and I carry a gun. Baby, listen, the way my Naruto would have been set up and I would have morphed into somebody else, honey.
Bitch, don't bother me. I hold grudges. I don't give a goddamn. I still hate motherfuckers from middle school. I don't wish none of you bitches well. Fuck all of you.
Baby, it would have been what he said for me, honey. The way I would have went Ricky Bobby Spider Monkey all over their ass. Whoo, baby. I got to give it up to Julie for being able to deal with all them people coming up to your door, dropping the kills off, baby. Not me. I would have went Tokyo Tony on their ass. You guys, this is just too much for me. So we're gonna do a part 2 tomorrow. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. See you on the flip side. Peace.